Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. This is Grady Hooker, and we're going to start it straight off with Josh on Skype.
Hey.
And we're going to talk about the Elimination Chamber to start it off. Did you see the pre-show?
Yeah, it was Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Rybaxel.
I think this match definitely came out a different way than anyone was expecting.
Yeah, if they were going to pull the trigger for Cody Rhodes versus Goldust at WrestleMania, this was when it was the time to do it. They chose not to pull the trigger. We're not going to get that match.
But see, we had that match looming in the clouds. We had Larry the Axe Hennig out at ringside. How could this match have gone wrong?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here with Goldust and Cody Rhodes. Maybe they'll do a fatal four-way tag team elimination match at WrestleMania for the tag team titles and include the Brotherhood.
Yeah, have the Rhodes Brothers, Rybaxel, New Age Outlaws, and Usos.
Yeah. We don't quite know what's going on here. But having Larry the Axe Hennig come out kind of reminded me of the fact that Rybaxel could really use a manager.
Yeah, they weren't too bad when they had Heyman.
No, but they could use a manager, and I thought maybe that they would be using his grandfather, but it looks like to be only a one-time thing.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what Larry's health is like, if he can travel week in and week out.
Yeah, but that would have been something special if they could have included him.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see him come out, but I don't know. So yeah, we sort of alluded to it. The Rhodes brothers actually came out on top with the Crossroads. See, it was an alright match, but I didn't see myself jumping off my chair like I normally do for a Rhodes brothers match.
Yeah, and I think that's got a lot to do with Ryback himself, because the other three can wrestle. Ryback is a disaster.
Okay, don't hold anything back, Josh.
Hence why he got the disaster kick.
Okay, it was a metaphor, wasn't it?
Kind of. I don't think Ryback can be saved. They're going to try and try and try, but I don't think he can be saved.
We'll just turn him back to Skip Sheffield.
That can't even save him.
Okay. So, on the show, the first match was actually Big E taking on Jack Swagger for the Intercontinental Championship.
This was actually the right match to start the show off with. And it was a good match. Swagger and Big E worked really well together.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Swagger's a good wrestler. He just makes a few mistakes occasionally. Just ask Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
But he's a good wrestler, and Big E is really coming into his own in the ring. I still wish they would open up his character a little bit. Maybe even allow him to use the 5 count.
Yeah.
Which got him really over in NXT.
They're letting him do these things now where he's going like top rope, he's flying around the ring. So if anyone says that Big E isn't the future of WWE, a part of that group, then go away.
Yeah, I said after that insecurity kick at the end of the match, I said anybody who questions Big E's athleticism, there's your answer.
Yeah. The man can flip.
He's a 300-pound man and was able to hit an insecurity kick like a cruiserweight.
But yeah, that match had quite a few ones where you thought it was going to finish with the Patriot lock, but Big E still powers out.
Yeah, it was definitely the right decision to keep the title on Big E. It'll be a question of seeing where they go with him from here. I'm still holding out hope for the Mark Henry match, but it doesn't look like we're going to get it.
Okay. So if we're not going to get Mark Henry, who do you think we're going to get?
Antonio Cesaro?
Okay. Well, we'll go on to the next one. We talked a little bit about the tag division already, but it was the tag team championships. The Usos taking on the New Age Outlaws.
I am not surprised the titles did not change hands here. I am surprised, however, at the outcome of the match.
Yeah, I think most of us, except for Brandon, picked that the Usos would win by DQ or count out or some nefarious means where the New Age Outlaws would keep the titles.
Because it wasn't time for the Usos to win the title.
They got to wait another 6 weeks.
Yeah. WrestleMania is the time. WrestleMania is when it would be the most special for them to win the titles. And would make the most sense.
And then start dancing with Daddy.
Yeah, possibly. That would be nice. But that is when they should win the titles.
Yeah.
Will they? That's a different question altogether. But that's when they should win the titles. So, and they gave them an out to continue the feud with the way Billy Gunn got the pin by holding on to the tights.
Yeah. I think we haven't seen the last of these two teams feuding, and I don't think we've seen the last time that the Usos will get a shot at the tag titles.
No, they're definitely going to get another shot. And if WWE's smart, they'll put the titles on them because the Usos have come a long way in the years that they've been there with WWE. And they deserve a title run.
I imagine if the whole Daniel Bryan Authority thing happens and the Authority blows up at WrestleMania, the New Age Outlaws can just sort of pack their bags and head backstage again.
Yeah.
So we'll jump into the classic entrance theme of the week. You actually picked it, didn't you, Josh?
Mm-hmm.
It's Macho Man Randy Savage. It's called Pomp and
Circumstance. It's actually like a graduation theme here in the United States.
And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker and Josh. We're about a third of the way through the Elimination Chamber card. Up next, the Primetime Players exploded, and Darren Young took on Titus O'Neil.
It was an okay match. This was the match I was fearing the most because I figured the crowd would absolutely turn on it. But it doesn't seem like they did.
No, but to be honest, from an at-home perspective, for two men who'd wrestled together so many times, you'd think they had a little bit more chemistry to put on a better match.
Yeah, but they haven't gotten to work as a singles wrestlers since NXT.
True.
Which is about 4 years ago.
It does show the...
They're in the endless season 5.
Yeah. Titus O'Neil's definitely on the rise, and it looks like they've sort of squished Darren Young at that match.
Yeah. We'll have to see where they go from here. If Titus O'Neil does get that rocket pack to go up to the mid-card, or if they'll be completely forgotten during WrestleMania season.
Maybe Titus Big E for the title?
Maybe.
Anything can happen. Never say never.
Yeah, we got Hulk Hogan back in the WWE.
Fair enough. I think everyone said never for that one.
But there is one I think never. I think there are two never that you can actually say never about. The first is Jeff Jarrett.
Okay.
The second is China.
Yeah, I think you can say it about China. I'm not sure about Jeff. Jeff might just play his guitar.
No, they left on such bad terms that Vince will never bring him back.
Okay. We're swerving off topic. I'll swerve us back. So what I think everyone agreed was the highlight of the pay-per-view, the 6-man tag team match, the Shields versus the Wyatts. Josh, are you Team Shield or Team Wyatts?
Well, I picked the Wyatts. I knew that the Wyatts had the win here, first off, and I thought for sure this is when we would see Boom Goes the Dynamite in the Shield.
Well, we saw Boom Goes Dean Ambrose into hiding.
Yeah, he disappeared. So it's possible they could spin that off into the breakup of the Shield. it's possible that this feud is not over.
No, I don't know. I have heard murmurs of Cena Bray at WrestleMania, but I could see this tiding us over since Cena isn't exactly a week in, week out wrestler.
Yeah, it's options to in case of anything that may happen at all.
Yeah. I think if we are going to see the explosion of the Shield, I don't think a triple threat is going to happen. I think it will be a singles between Reigns and Ambrose.
Yeah, the last time they did a breakup triple threat at WrestleMania, it was awful with the legacy.
Yeah.
So we'll have to hope that they don't go that route. But then that begs the question: what do they do with Seth Rollins?
I know back when I was doing like random stuff a month ago, I was like, WrestleMania, it'll be Reigns versus Ambrose with Rollins as the special guest referee.
That'd be interesting.
And then Rollins has to decide if he's going to side with Ambrose and stay a bad guy or side with Reigns and become a good guy. But I don't know if they'll be likely to let Seth Rollins special guest ref at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it'd probably be unlikely. Maybe they'll bring the Money in the Bank back, and they can put him in it and use him as a spot monkey.
Yep, that would always work. We got a small unannounced Divas Championship match.
This would have been for Naomi, and it would have been probably announced had it not been for Oksana.
You're not very happy at Oksana.
Oh no, you can't tell that at all.
I think Josh likes Oksana. But yeah, Naomi gets injured and she was in line for a title shot. Would she have got it? I don't know. Would she have captured the championship?
I'd say yes, but that's because I've been saying yes to that question for 5 months now.
I have heard that might be a Total Divas payoff at WrestleMania with one of the Total Divas capturing the championship.
That might be possible. I know AJ Lee is just like 20 days away from capturing the combined total reigns record.
No, okay. Is she anywhere near the women's championship reigns?
That's 27 years.
I think AJ could do it. She's got like another 26 and a half. But yeah, this match, to be completely and utterly obvious, it's awful. It was train wreck.
It's possible they were beginning to plant the seeds for Tamina to break away from AJ.
Possible? Tamina booted her in the face.
Yeah, well, they might be able to play it off like it was an accident or something.
I don't know, it sure as hell didn't look like an accident to me. It looked like Tamina was aiming straight at AJ. Cameron was like a good 3 feet away.
We'll have to see where they go because the Divas don't get much time right now. And what time they get is going towards Emma.
Yeah. The adopted Kiwi wrestler. Still claiming her. But, I was quite surprised we didn't see anything of Santino, Emma, Fandango, Summer, except for that small little backstage skit.
Yeah, that's what it possibly was. It's just they may not have had space for her because we almost ran out of time.
I did notice. We normally stop at about 1:45, and we stopped at about 2 minutes to.
We stopped at 5 minutes till.
Nah. So I don't know what's up with the Divas division, but it depends if they're going to go with the Total Divas payout or Tamina AJ at WrestleMania. Or they could swerve us all and have another horrible 20 diva tag match with the Total Divas versus Real Divas.
Yeah, or maybe they have a celebrity match.
No, just put one of the celebrities on the Total Divas show and then one of them on the Real Divas side, and then we'll see what happens. Lots of arguments. So we'll jump into the current entrance theme of the week. I think it's I'm going on a long shot here, the only person who was in Elimination Chamber the entire pay-per-view whose song we haven't played. I think so. And that's only because he debuted it like 2 weeks ago. It's Titus O'Neil's. Back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady, Hooker and Josh. We just looked it up. It looks like we also haven't played the New Age Outlaws. So, barring anything, we'll be playing that next week just to cap it all off. But we'll jump into Elimination Chamber. Only 2 matches left. We had Bautista versus Alberto Del Rio.
You got problems when the crowd would rather cheer for Alberto Del Rio than you.
Yeah, see, that's what the commentators said. They said that the crowd is pro Alberto, but I'm pretty sure the whole way through they were just anti Batista.
Yeah, and it's not really anti Batista. It's just Batista isn't Daniel Bryan.
True.
And they believe that he stole Daniel Bryan's spot.
Would they feel better, though, if Batista decided to embrace the hate and become a villain?
Possibly, I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely what it is. It's just the crowd is not happy that he came back, won the Rumble, and Daniel Bryan wasn't even in the Rumble.
Yeah.
And so they're not happy that he's not Daniel Bryan.
All of the big wrestlers are right now experiencing Daniel Bryan-itis. Orton, Batista, they're all just getting completely booed out of the arena because they're not Bryan.
Yeah.
Then again, Bryan did get a shot. He just didn't capitalize. Talking about the Elimination Chamber here, where we had the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, John Cena, Sheamus, Christian, and Cesaro.
This is, bar none, the most physical Elimination Chamber match that WWE has had in years.
What, bro kicks through the pod, slamming people down on the corrugated iron? That's the wrong answer.
Throwing them into the pod, breaking them, jumping off of pods, fog flashing off of them. It was a physical Elimination Chamber match.
They definitely did a lot more spots than they'd normally do, I think, at that point.
Yeah. The first elimination was Sheamus, which kind of surprised me. I expected it to be Christian.
Yeah.
But it was Christian that eliminated Sheamus.
One of them had to eliminate the other.
Yep.
So, I don't know if we're building to a big-style WrestleMania match between the two, a feud, or a small one-timer.
It's unknown. It's unknown. I don't think they really know what they want to do with either of these guys.
I don't think they know what they want to do with half of the roster.
Because I've heard 2 different possibilities for Sheamus. I've heard Christian versus Sheamus, and I've heard Sheamus versus Roman Reigns.
Okay. I think the Roman Reigns one would require them to have split the Shield already.
So I don't really know where they're going with that. And WWE doesn't seem to know either. Cesaro put on a show for being one of the first ones in.
We got a swing, didn't we?
Yeah, we got a swing on Orton. We got one of those awesome uppercuts.
Yeah.
Pop-up uppercuts. And we got this really just see what he could do with the main eventers, which I think is going to be huge for him going forward. He ended up being eliminated by Cena.
Yeah. Which is no small thing.
No. Then we had the craziness start to beginning to happen. When we had the lights go out and we had the Wyatts take out Cena. And the crowds began to chant, "Thank you, Wyatts."
I'm guessing someone just casually left the doors open for the Wyatts.
Yeah.
They appeared that the doors were open when the lights came back on, but
yeah.
I guess they were trying to usher Cesaro out, so...
Yeah, when you're eliminated, you have to leave the chamber, so... so that's when they open it.
So this is the second World Heavyweight Championship match that the Wyatts have screwed Cena over.
So we're definitely on the path for Cena versus Bray Wyatt.
Unless something happens.
Yeah.
And then we got our second interference of the match.
Okay, and everybody could see this coming from a mile away, yet people let their hopes get up for it not to happen.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, you could see Kane was going to get involved and was going to cost Daniel Bryan the match.
And we will.
And that's exactly what happened.
And we will be getting an awesome Kane-Daniel Bryan match later on, some point in the future.
Hopefully it leads to Triple H versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
I think the crowd won't be happy with that. They'll be screaming out the whole way through the match. Because he's not in the main event.
Unless they use Daniel Bryan in a way in which he demands the match.
True. And then they'll think that's what Bryan wants, so we want that.
Yeah. It's also possible they could do this. Alright, he goes, alright, you want to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Alright, you can be in the main event of WrestleMania, but you have to beat me in a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania before you can be in the main event.
And then he pulls double duty.
Yeah.
I said duty.
And then wins the title, and everybody celebrates. Woo!
I don't know. If he's just pulled double duty after a Hell in a Cell match, I don't know how fit he'd be to win the title off two completely fresh people.
But that's why it would be a triple threat match.
True.
And it would give him the underdog storyline that they all have been feeding us for since SummerSlam. It would pay into it and be the payoff.
I'll let you off since I had my random dreams of Seth Rollins special guest ref. I can't diss yours. But we're looking ahead. We got WrestleMania coming up. The only announced match is Batista Orton for the title. What do we think is going to be added?
Bray Cena. Probably, most likely, Ambrose versus Rollins or Reigns for the United States Championship. Big E will defend the Intercontinental Championship, but at this point, I have no clue who will defend it against. We'll see Undertaker versus Lesnar. Face it, we're going to see it.
Yes, I'm facing it. Still be banging my head into a wall.
Let's see here. We'll probably see a tag team championship match
with some form of a hell of a lot of people in the ring at once.
Likely, it may end up just being the Usos versus the New Age Outlaws.
Fair enough.
But we'll have to see where they go with that. And maybe a Divas match. Maybe a Divas Celebrity match.
No Cesaro swagger?
I don't know if they want to go that route or not. Honestly, I don't.
Isn't that a good thing?
Because it not really, because you don't know what they want to do with Cesaro.
True. It's a bit weird. There's like some bits that you're like, I know this is going to happen for sure, and then there's other bits that you don't exactly know. Are they going to happen? Are they going to swerve? What's going to happen? Okay, well, I think we're almost out of the time. Just checking. Yep, I'll have to go through the links. Let's see if I can remember them all and don't screw them up this time. You can visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page at twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, and wrestlingroundup.host22.com. Yep, we got all of our blogs and articles, including The Streak, written by Josh. When you go up, there should be, I think there's only 2 more left to go up, where he looks back at The Undertaker's streak. So we'll see you next week.